What's up, Rockstars? I got another update for you. We got some campaigns that are coming up real soon. I have a preview page to show you about some of those, plus some big video game IPs. They're going to be board games. We're going to tell you about all those. There's a lot coming up, so stay tuned. I want to start out thanking my sponsor of today's video, GameWorkCreate. They've been a long-term sponsor of this channel, a big supporter, and they offer some great deals for you guys. They have a whole bunch of RPGs, so I don't know if I've ever spoken about that. They have board games, a lot of those Kickstarter games, a lot of the games I cover they offer, and they offer some great resin prints. They are fantastic 3D prints, the best I have ever seen. Really up there, but they have RPGs as well, so if you're into that, feel free to check them out. They are linked down in the description below, and again, thank you to GameWorkCreate for sponsoring. Now let's go and talk about Gears of War. Now this is a surprise, I will say. The fact that this is a $35 card game that you can get branded with Gears of War, that actually seems kind of cool too. It has like different scenarios you can go through and stuff. This is something that I am quite interested in. These little fun card games I find myself playing more of lately because of time constraints. If you're like me, maybe you don't play as much as you used to, or at least as much as you would like. And that's where these little card games come in handy. You can play a round of them or two and just kind of fit them in as you can, whether it's over a lunch break or just, real quick at night with your spouse or one of your kids, something like that. That's what I tend to do anyway. And so these card games are stuff that I'm starting to buy more and more of. So if you're interested in that, this might be one for you. Now, it's on pre-order right now. And again, this is linked down below along with everything else. So feel free to check that in the description below. But yeah, super cool, and definitely something I'm interested in. A lot more than a big miniatures game of it, actually. This will get me to actually buy it as opposed to a miniatures game, which I don't know if I have the time for it, really. So yeah, super cool. This is by, of course, SFG. They do a lot of these branded stuff. They get a lot of these IP. We'll see if they keep it as a card game or if they do more in the future. We'll see. I'll let you guys know, of course, if they have anything else coming around. Now, also, just as an FYI, today is the last day to enter into my fundraiser. Can't keep it going on forever. And while I am not in a position to ship everything out yet right now, I'm still moving stuff in, but then we'll move stuff out. However, I do want to thank you all for the wonderful support. And I do want to remind you, by the way, that first of all, again, the donations, they help a ton. I much prefer to have this channel be community driven as opposed to company driven. So thank you so much for keeping it community focused. I do appreciate that. And yeah, there's some awesome stuff. So obviously, if you donate over 100, I'm going to give you this kind of 2-inch in diameter. It's kind of a first player token, a commemorative crown. And then of course, even for $20 plus, you get this commemorative coin that I'll print out and give to you. Super cool. I'm glad I'm being able to just give out more and more. Speaking of which, there are a few more new games. I mentioned OrcQuest last time, but Kevin, the community member, is actually donating a collector's pledge of Robinson Crusoe. So they'll update the address for you, so it'll just ship to wherever you need it to go. We'll connect you guys, and you guys can figure that out. That's super cool. I'm really glad to be able to give that away. Crystal Age, we're going to be talking about that here real soon, so feel free to take a look at that. Dark Rituals is another new one, and then I think this one's a little bit farther down. But there is also, there's so many. V-Sabotage is also being provided now. And so that's just super cool to see the support, see the community kind of just coming together to support this channel. And I do greatly appreciate it again. Thank you so much. Let's talk about Andromeda's Edge. This is the big one out right now, obviously. 1.1 million from 7,000 backers. Now that is some strong numbers on both sides, I feel. But the 1.1 million is a lot from 7,000. I feel like they did very well from the 7,000. So these are people donating quite a bit. There's not as much, I feel, of those dollar pledgers kind of thing. I mean, this is a really strong outpouring of love for it. First of all, the box looks freaking fantastic. I love the box. The art style, super cool. Really dig that. This looks like a lot, and that's because it is a lot. This is very much a Euro game. Very much a game you gotta appreciate, putting ships on a map and doing all that kind of stuff. That being said, this is really kind of an evolution of Everdell. And so with that, if you like that, you're going to love this. If you didn't like that, you're probably not going to love this. If you liked that and thought, this needs more spaceships, this game is for you. I'm no expert on that one, so I'm not going to speak too much of it. But the fact that they think that this kind of like spreadsheet thing is something useful, if you find this useful, this game is for you. And I mean that only slightly jokingly. It reminds me of like EVE Online, where it's all just like spreadsheets. It's like the nerds are going to love this. There's a lot here. There's a lot here, for sure. And so feel free to dig in. How much longer does it have? It actually has a fair bit, I believe, to go. So don't feel too pressured into it or anything. We have 10 days left, so plenty of time to kind of, dive into that spreadsheet and see what's available. It's a lot. It is a lot. But I think it's something that's speaking to a lot of people. And a lot of people are loving it. I've already commented on the Space Dragon race. I think that's an awesome faction. That's super cool to see. And honestly, not terrible either. Not terrible at all. All in deluxe, 190. For what I saw there, that seems to be like a lot of stuff. But if you just want the standard edition, $70. I love these entry. I mean, even the deluxe is 130. So this all in of less than 200, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Those are some good prices. I really do dig that. They had a lot of community-driven stuff, too. Like, you can see Quack here had a Day 7 live stream and stuff like that. I think it's really cool to see them interacting with the community and really knowing their audience. And I think that's super cool. So, again, feel free to check out that. Of course, it's linked down below. Stonesaga is also out, and it's approaching 1 million as well. That's huge. It still has 15 days to go. 6,616 backers. My goodness. Now, if you didn't know, I do have a copy. I am actually waiting to post my review because on Tuesday, I'll be getting a table. Hopefully, I'll actually build the table, but I want to film it on that because I want to try it out. And I'll talk about that in a moment, but it's coming. I promise. I've needed the extra time anyway. It only has a few sessions in it, but by golly, this movement, this will not be the normal view. I'll have a much better view here soon, but for now I'm just in this corner. This is where my desk is. Got some lighting. I'm making these videos work for you guys, well, again, while I'm moving to the new place, so I do apologize for the delay there. But I mean, big names here, right? I mean, X-Wing, Legends of the Five Rings, Star Wars Legion, like those are big names. So definitely a lot here, and I am a sucker for crafting. I cannot tell you enough. I love crafting. I like getting resources, making gear. I'm all about the loot. Love that kind of stuff. So the survival kind of aspect of that, super, super cool. Now, this is actually the table. Almost, sort of, kind of. This is Origins Lit. It has a table for $9.99. This is it's this one right here. It's the Meeple's Champion. It's actually the one I'll be showing off. I don't have it yet, so I can't speak on it. There is a link down below. It'll take you to be able to get this actually, and it's couldn't even think of the name because I don't do this very often. I get a little bit of commission on that, so if you want to help support the channel and also get a game table, then of course that's linked down below as well. But I'll talk about it for sure. I am the kind of guy that has played on my dining room table, and then I went because I started really getting into Warhammer, and the dining room table was not wide enough. I really wanted like the 4 feet by 6 feet kind of thing, right? So I got into Warhammer. So I got this fold-out table from Alpha Gaming. Great table, by the way, and perfect for if you don't have the space because you can fold it up. But that was also because I was looking at game tables and they were wanting like $5,000+ for it. I wasn't about to spend that. I can't do Warhammer and have money. Like that, those are mutually exclusive things, right? So the Meeple's Champion for $9.99 though, I feel like that's a strong indicator that like we consumers can upgrade, even like the casual people, to get $1,500 if you want the dining topper. I just think that's super cool. Kind of a well, yeah, why not upgrade kind of thing. It gets to that level of inexpensiveness, which is super cool to see. So yeah, really gonna be interested in talking around that. So stay tuned for that as well. Now coming up, Street Fighter V, again, another video game This will be on February 21st. It'll be on GameFound, so that's just 8 days away at time of recording. So probably around 7 and some change for you guys. This is going to be big. This is Colossal Games, so don't worry about any blacklist or anything. They took over this, and honestly, it looks good. If nothing else, so I have the Street Fighter game from Jasco, and that's actually a fun one. I really like the bluffing mechanic in that. I love the miniatures, but I also like painting miniatures, and the fact that I could paint these would be super cool because they have some bright colors, some bombastic characters like Zangief. Oh man, and Birdie and stuff like that. It just looks like a lot of fun. Also, of the modern games, Street Fighter V is actually the one I've played. I've played all the older ones, 1, 2, some of the arcade ones as well, and then I jumped to 5. So I actually know, a lot of these modern characters through 5 actually. So that's kind of cool to see too. It's definitely a connection for me. I might get this because we do like the other one. We're big Street Fighter fans here. So, because my wife has played way more than me. So yeah, I'll be eyeing this to see what it looks like. Okay, next up, another video game. We're all about the video games, guys. Dead Cells, a roguelite board game. This seems cool. Dead Cells is a lot of fun in a video game. But how are they going to do that in a board game? Well, there is a article here on Board Game Geek that you can dive into to kind of learn a little bit more about it. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of game mechanics that they explain, but it sounds fun. My favorite part about this, 45-minute playtime. As long as the gameplay is fun and the setup is quick. So you can have a 45-minute game time, but if it takes me 20 minutes to set up, well, that's really over an hour, right? But 45-minute game time, that might get, it's just like this Gears of War stuff I was talking about. If I can find my mouse. Just like this. I just want to play these games. Get them out, play them, have some fun. So that's what I'm looking forward to here. Q2 2023, we don't have a long time to wait, so we will see. Now, finally, here's the Crystal Age preview. I wanted to show this off. This comes out on the 15th, so it comes out very soon, literally this Wednesday. And there is what looks to be a very cool and cheap game. And again, I love it. I think it's great. It won't kill your storage. It'll play pretty swiftly. It's got some fun stuff, a little bit of a Pokemon-esque aspect to it. I'll explain that a little bit. Looks like you just lay it down on the board and play it. And I'm telling you guys, look at this. $40 for the low corruption. If you want the all-in, $70. Guys, that's cheap. That is nice. It's amazing what happens when you don't have a bajillion miniatures. But they are willing to give you some more. We'll talk about that in a little bit here too. So this is kind of the main game. The all-in includes more than this. But essentially, you're on like the outside, and then eventually you can get on the inside, and then eventually you can get into the core. And what you do is you can kind of like move either fast or slow, but then you get these like creatures that show up. More if you move slowly, and you can choose to like fight them. And you start out fairly weak. You have different dice. You have to roll the dice against these creatures, and if you win, then you actually gain those creatures, and they give you like a buff. And as you gain creatures, and even these guardians over here, you gain different abilities, stronger dice. So your dice are getting stronger, and you get a lot more like dice manipulation, stuff like that. All these different things you can do to become stronger and stronger. So you get kind of progressively stronger. Now it does solo, it does co-op, and it does competitive. And solo and co-op, you got to get to the middle and defeat kind of like this big boss. And competitive, you have to survive 3 rounds in there, and other people can fight you. So sounds super cool, looks super neat, looks pretty streamlined. You get these kind of cool miniatures. I love miniatures that sit. I'm always a fan of that. And yeah, otherwise, I mean, it looks nice. The art looks great. They do some fun stuff, like they have some like full art stuff for the collector's edition and stuff like that, which looks super neat. You get these upgraded, and so in the upgraded version, you get these little potions and smoke bombs and stuff. These events, they haven't said too much about this, and the leak doesn't work yet on that. But apparently, you get these extra rule card and event expansion that kind of, it looks like they'll explore it over the course of the campaign. So that seems cool. There's a full art. As you can see, it does look very nice. It's very pretty. And if we scroll all the way down here, all the way down, keep it going. If we're going to get to the stretch goals here. So the stretch goals, boom, right here at 300,000. They'll actually do all the heroes as miniatures. And look at this. They're including new Lords of Corruption, those bosses, new heroes, stuff like that. So looks super cool. Again, that'll be live on Wednesday, and I'll show you more once it's live. So super interested in that. And that's it, guys. A quick video for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. There's definitely a lot of video game IP stuff going on right now. And of course, some big campaigns, almost 2 multi-million-dollar campaigns. But yeah, if there's anything you'd like me to look at, or if you know of something coming up, feel free to let me know, or let us all know in the comments below. Thank you so much again. Check out GameWorkCreate for sponsoring this. And of course, that fundraiser is ending today, just as an FYI on that. Guys, thank you so very much. I'll talk to you guys again very, very soon. Bye, guys.